Greetings, acolytes and students of the Force, and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be analyzing a question in Star Wars lore about Dooku and his master Palpatine, specifically revolving around the Chosen One, Anakin Skywalker, and his transition into the Dark Lord Vader. Dooku was one of the most powerful Darksiders that has ever existed. He was one of the greatest masters of the Jedi Order prior, which is what made him such a valuable asset to the way of the Sith. He was the perfect enemy for Anakin Skywalker over the course of the war, and the perfect rival to increase Anakin's own power, as was a plan designed by Sidious, a plan that would ultimately culminate in Anakin becoming Sidious's next apprentice. But with this comes a major question. Why did Dooku, Darth Tyrannus, the current apprentice of Darth Sidious, never fear the prospects of Anakin Skywalker? And why did he never fear being replaced by Anakin outright, and actively attempted to turn Anakin to the dark side of the Force? What was Dooku's reasoning, and why was he so secure with the methodology of the Sith that he believed that he was irreplaceable, but at the same time wanted Anakin to become a Sith himself and did not fear being outright replaced, and moved aside for a more powerful apprentice? Well, today, acolytes and students of the Force, we will answer that question. In all actuality, Dooku only ever recognized that he was deceived by Palpatine when Palpatine told Anakin to execute him on the invisible hand. Prior, he believed that it was his ultimate plan to reign alongside Palpatine as well as Anakin. Prior to this, over the course of the entirety of the Clone Wars conflict, Dooku fully well knew that he was going to be the final test for Anakin. This is why Dooku and Anakin confront each other so often over the course of the Clone Wars, and at the same time, Dooku outright refuses to kill the Chosen One, as he knows that Anakin is Sidious's greatest plan, as Sidious outright tells him this following their duel in Attack of the Clones. Sidious wants Anakin Skywalker on the team of the Sith, but that team at the time still included Darth Tyrannus. This raises a major question though. Was Dooku actually aware of the Rule of Two as established in the Baneite era by Darth Bane himself nearly 1,000 years before the Clone Wars? And the answer to this question is yes. Dooku was fully well aware of the Rule of Two and what it dictated. However, he also believed that the final sunset of the Rule of Two was upon them, and he believed that the Clone Wars was the exact conflict that was going to finally end the Sith rule. Dooku did not question being replaced, as he believed that the Rule of Two was coming with an official end with the birth of Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker. This was the plan as proposed to him by Darth Sidious directly, stating that he wanted to elongate the Clone Wars in an effort to turn more Jedi to the dark side of the Force, including the most prized of the Jedi in Anakin. But according to Dooku, Anakin was not the only Jedi that he wanted to become a Sith by the conclusion of the war. Dooku believed that many of the ranks of the Jedi Order that were not killed would soon pledge their allegiance to the Sith in Sidious, Dooku, and Vader. And he believed that a brand new army of fully trained, pure Sith Lords would be born out of the Clone Wars, creating an order not too dissimilar from that of the Jedi. This is why, although Dooku and Palpatine had multiple times where they could have outright ended the Clone Wars, they decided not to. This is also a major reason why that in Legends continuity, Dooku actively let some Jedi live after defeating them in single combat, in hopes that showing them this mercy would one day sway them to the path of the dark side and into the direct open arms of that of the Sith. At the same time though, this doesn't mean that there weren't some major red flags told to Dooku by Sidious directly, as in one conversation between the both men, Sidious even states that he believes that Anakin Skywalker could have the potential to surpass Palpatine himself, something that should have angered or at least caused immense fear within Dooku, but Dooku was essentially too arrogant to believe that he could be deceived. Dooku even admits that he wasn't even afraid of Anakin Skywalker becoming a Sith Lord and defeating him at any point in time, but there's actually a little bit more to this. Dooku believed that once that the Sith destroyed the Jedi as the Rule of Two dictated, that the Sith again would be numerous throughout the star, and Dooku believed that he would have a pivotal role in this new era for the galaxy. He also believed that as he studied the Rule of Two as established by Sith, that Palpatine met all the criteria to be its culmination, and believed effectively that Darth Sidious would be the last of the Rule of Two era Sith. Dooku believed that it was his reward that he would have access to all of the information that Palpatine had, with nearly all of the Sith Masters becoming equal following the end of the Clone War, and that he would now have complete access to some of the forbidden techniques that only Sidious deemed his eyes worthy of. Believing that following this, Dooku would now become even more powerful than he currently was in the dark side, and would fully become a full Sith Master, no longer being Sidious's apprentice, but an equal in the dark side. It was because of this belief belief that Dooku never formulated or hatched a grand plan to attempt to overthrow Palpatine as most other Rule of Two apprentices would have, as Dooku believed that his stance in the Force and his stance as a Sith was too secure to attempt any of this. Dooku wanted armies of Darksiders trained by true Sith and trained by Dooku and even Anakin himself, as he believed that they would be the perfect co-generals for a new Sith Empire. This is why he did not fear Anakin and made it one of his ultimate goals to turn him. He believed that the three of them would construct a new Sith doctrine following the Rule of Two that would rule eternally in the galaxy as a reborn Sith, with Dooku being instrumental in the construction of brand new Sith doctrine and a new era for the dark side organization, something that motivated Dooku quite a bit as he always wanted to reconstruct and remold the Jedi Order but was never allowed to, and now he viewed this as his ultimate purpose in the Force, being at the forefront of a brand new, superior order. Deep down, Dooku wanted the camaraderie and brotherhood that came with being a Jedi Master, and something that he was severely lacking being surrounded by General Grievous, other bloodthirsty separatists, and millions upon millions of emotionless battle droids. And that is why each and every passing day, he wanted to turn Anakin to the dark side more badly. This is the reason why he agreed to continually duel and test Anakin and actively attempt to make him as powerful as possible. But in the end, this also raises another question. Why did Dooku believed that he actually would have been Anakin's equal following the construction of a new Sith Order? In all actuality, this is because Dooku actively underestimated the power of the Chosen One. Dooku always believed that he was the more valuable to Darth Sidious, as his power was more refined, and he had far more knowledge than Anakin did. However, Anakin was more naturally powerful, which is something that Dooku admitted, but he still believed that his sheer knowledge and the fact that his power was completely controlled made him the more desirable apprentice to the Dark Lord, and made him essentially irreplaceable, something that was of course incorrect. In the end, Dooku always believed himself to be superior to Anakin, and that he would one day prove to be even the superior Sith Master. In the end, he would always hold it over Anakin Skywalker's head that he was the one that swayed him to the dark side, and that Dooku, Darth Tyrannus, was finally the one to break the will of the Chosen One of the Jedi. And this is why he always believed himself superior. Although Anakin could become more powerful in the Force and with the blade, Dooku was irreplaceable. A sentiment though that would obviously be proven incorrect in conjunction with his own lightsaber blade and the blade of a newly burgeoning Darth Vader. In the end, I ultimately believe that this explanation does make a lot of sense, and it makes sense as to exactly why Dooku never feared being replaced by Anakin, as he believed that his place in the Sith Order was cemented with Palpatine being the culmination of the Rule of Two, which makes sense as to why he never questioned him. I also think that the arrogance of Dooku also shows through here, with him believing that his status and the information that he has always makes him more refined and therefore more valuable to Sidious. He underestimates Anakin just as all of the other Jedi did, such as Mace Windu and Yoda, showing that Dooku still held the glimpses of the Jedi and the flaws of the Jedi within him. But now, I turn it over to you, my friends. What are your thoughts on this? And do you believe that this explanation ultimately makes sense as to why Dooku was not afraid of Anakin or being replaced by him? Do you believe that Dooku should have seen this coming? I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this in the comments down below. And as always, my friends, thank you so much for watching the channel. May the Force be with you, and I will hopefully see you in the next video.